Nasa EDSA DOS kami. Marami.
Okay.
Lahat ng nasa EDSA DOS, isa lang natira. Dalawa lang silang natira.
Hey guys, here in a nutshell with me, Ina. For the first time, tatlo ang aking kakwentuhan. Bakit tatlo? Well, they have a very interesting story because they are parang BFFs. They're very good friends all the way back from college sa Pilipinas. At akalain nyo, tatlo din silang nag-migrate dito sa Canada, all of them living in the Greater Toronto area. Aba, okay. Tanungin natin sila kung ano ang nagdala sa kanilang tatlo dito. Ayan, si Ed,
Hello.
Vince, and Bombet. Hi, guys!
Hello.
Hi.
Ayan, thank you so much at nag-meet ang ating schedule for this. Maraming salamat.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, nako. Interesting story, no? And quite unique. I mean, it doesn't happen often to see parang yung magbabarkada way back from the Philippines, almost like migrating together, although not sabay-sabay, di ba? To Canada. First, sige, let's start first sa inyong relationship back in the Philippines. When did you guys really meet? Talagang college ba?
College work.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Who wants to anybody can talk. Go ahead. Sige.
So, Steven.
I remember May 1989.
Oh wow.
We were on the same classroom, yung block namin CO2. So it's the one accounting section in De La Salle University.
Yan.
So yan, ano mo Lasal. So when we got together, syempre hindi pa talaga kami magkakakilala no, because we all came from different schools in high school. So then pinagsama-sama kami through the years. So one class after another, then hindi rin kami eventually naging regular. Ako naging irregular student.
Bakit?
Ibang story, ibang vlog yun.
Ibang topic yun.
Ibang topic yun. Pero, but still, we still managed to get together, then stay close, keep in touch. I mean, university years, then even after graduating, then, well, by divine intervention, nagkasama rito. Maybe Ed and Bombet can shed more light dun sa kung paano sila
Teka muna, ibig sabihin dahil for yung viewers natin, I am also from DLSU, De La Salle University sa Manila. So ibig sabihin yung frosh orientation, dun nag-meet na agad kayo, yung usually day
Actually,
1 eh.
Sa orientation day, si Bombet yung una kong na-meet doon sa class namin.
Oh.
So, tapos si Vince din, ka-block ko. Pero I remember Bombet kasi either nasa harap ko siya or nasa likod ko siya sa pila. So, he was the first one I met sa orientation day.
Oo.
Kasi wala akong makausap kay Bombet, so kinausap ko na. Hindi, mahihain ako noon eh. Pero si Bombet nandoon. So I remember Bombet being the first, not one of the first, that I met in our block.
Okay. So your college life, kayo yung parang talagang magbarkada, no?
Yes.
All of you are, you
Yes.
guys all took CPA. Naging CPA kayong tatlo din?
Ako hindi, kasi naging irregular din ako eh.
Okay.
So I shifted.
Hindi ko alam kung naiintindihan nila irregular, Ed. Baka hindi naiintindihan ng audience yung irregular.
Hindi, ako mag-explain briefly. Kapag irregular, syempre you start off college with your set of subjects, major subjects, tapos yung sa mga dun sa course mo na talaga. Sometimes, for various reasons, minsan mahuhuli ka sa klase, magiging ireg ka. So, doon kayo mag-uumpisa, maghiwalay-hiwalay din, magkakaiba na ng section ng mga kasamahan mo originally. Okay.
Yes, I think after 2 years. So, pero, like, yung block kasi namin, we stayed in touch kahit after graduation. Like every year, at least once, nagkita-kita kami. So, we're pretty close compared sa ibang block sections. Even sa batch namin.
Okay. When you were in college, did you ever think that you'd end up in a different country with you three? Na-discuss nyo ba yun nung kabataan muna ha, in school?
Wala.
No, not really. To be honest.
Definitely no.
So after college, what careers did you get into? Alam ko lang si Bombet, so naging CPA. How about Ed and Vince?
Ako, natapos ko naman yung accounting kasi although hindi ako nag-board, pero I just took the training, whatever I learned, and applied it kasi nag-work ako sa San Miguel. After graduating, practice ako ng content sa office ng dad ko. Ako yung may law office siya, pero ako yung nag-handle nung books niya.
Alright.
Then eventually nag-work na ako sa Monterey division ng San Miguel. So up until I went here to Canada.
Okay, how about Ed?
So ako, I finished marketing management. So
okay.
I had various jobs, mainly tambay lang ako sa Pilipinas. Pero nung nag-decide, si Bombet actually yung nag-ano sa akin, nag-yaya na mag-Canada kasi I think it was only a few months na nag-apply siya, na-accept siya agad. So sabi ko, i-try ko. Tapos while waiting for that, I took a second course. Nag-nursing ako as a second course. Just in case. Tapos yun naman, nakarating naman dito.
Oh, you took nursing just in case for Canada?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Kasi that was right. Kasi ang tagal kung months lang kay Bombet sa akin, I think it took 5 years bago na-approve yung immigration ko dito. So I was not doing really anything. So I took up nursing.
Wow,
Specialist
ang tagal
nurse
naman.
dito, Ina.
Ano yun, Bombet?
Hindi lang yan normal nurse dito sa Canada. Ang klaseng nurse yan.
Oh, wow! Ibig sabihin, Ed, you were really meant to be here. Diba?
Yeah.
To be honest, Ina, I never tell Ed this often, pero proud ako talaga nung nag-shift, yung as in from marketing then nag-nursing. So talagang to be able to pivot tapos to make it here as a nurse, then talagang proud ako sa kanya. So tapos ngayon frontline na siya. So
wow.
Lagi sinasabi sa kanya nagagaling na bayani raw siya.
Oo, hindi. Kasi imagine, ang tagal, una sa lahat, ang tagal pala ng processing before. But 5 years
No, I think just for me, kasi I was single then. Yun yung tingin ko. Basta ang tagal niya for some reason.
Oh, okay.
And nagbago rin yata yung rules. Noong time na yun, nagbago yung point system.
That's
point system noon
Okay. So, but, who started the idea of Canada? Tsaka I asked Bombit this. Ano ba, did you guys, when one of you came up with the idea of moving to Canada, did you talk to Ed and then Vince, gusto nyo mag-Canada? Or individually decided rin, na kayo nag-decide?
Marami kaming umalis nung time na yon. Kasi ito, mga mga aktivista tong dalawang kaibigan ko. Nasa EDSA 2 kami. Marami. Lahat ng nasa EDSA 2, dalawa lang silang natira sa Pilipinas. Marami yung batch namin nag-alisan. Pumunta sa US, pumunta sa Australia, pumunta sa New Zealand, pumunta sa London, sa Canada. Tapos hindi naman namin pinag-usapan na alis na tayo dito. Alis tayo ng Canada. Wala yun. Parang kanya-kanyang plano lang.
Yeah. But it was because of frustrations in government kasi you mentioned EDSA 2 at kung aktivista man tong si Ed at si Vince, di ba? O mga very...
Ako sa akin yun.
Sa'yo?
Sa akin yun yung kasi nagkaanak ako nun eh.
Mm-hmm.
Nung nagkaanak na ako, parang nag-iba na yung mindset ko na parang pareho-pareho lang eh. Nung nag-EDSA 2 tapos yung pumalit, parang as worse or the same at least. Parang paikot lang to eh. Parang so we decided to, or I had to convince my wife na let's try another country. Kasi ano naman yung kapatid ko. Took her 11 months.
I see. Okay. And then who went after Bombet was Ed, right?
Hindi, ako muna.
Ay, ikaw na din. Okay, nga kasi na 5 years pala.
I arrived here 2003.
Okay, so, what brought you here?
Ako, mas cheesy yun sa akin. Ako, love yung...
Love story.
Love story.
Sinundan ko yung wife ko dito. She's a physiotherapist. So, nung ready na siya, sumunod na ako. So, single din naman. Siyempre, single ako. So, tapos yung sister ko at saka yung brother-in-law ko, nag-migrate din naman dito. So, it was a no-brainer.
And, but what made you and your wife decide to leave the Philippines?
Yung wife ko naman, as a physiotherapist, nag-work siya sa US before. Mm-hmm. Then, she decided to come back home. Buti na lang, kung hindi kami magkakilala. So, talaga gusto niyang bumalik ng US, pero mas nahirapan na siya. So, naging option yung Canada. So different time. So, mas madali talagang pumunta rito nung mga late 90s, early 2000s. So, sandali lang din niya na final yung permanent residence niya. Tapos, nakalis na siya agad. Tapos, after a few years, sumunod na rin ako sa kanya.
Yeah, back then, landed immigrants na yun agad sila PR na.
Oo. Ganon dati.
Oo. Ikaw naman, Ed. Okay. And then, natapos mo yung nursing mo and I assume you passed your boards in the Philippines?
So, actually, I think that helped na napabilis. Kasi sabi ko nga, mga 5 years na yung application ko as an immigrant here. PR din kasi dati. Yun lang yata yung pinakamabilis that time. Mm-hmm. So, sumulat sila sa akin. When they wrote me, I just passed the board sa nursing sa Pinas. So, yun ang ni-report ko. Wala pa, a few months lang, sumagot sila na approve na, ganun-ganon, pinapapunta na agad ako. Sabi ko, okay. So, I think malaking bagay yung nag-nursing ako. Tapos nag-update sila.
Yeah, okay. And then now, what type of nurse are you?
Home hemo nurse. So, we teach patients how to do dialysis at home sa Toronto General Hospital.
Oh, nice! Alam mo, I've always been curious, by the way. Buti na bring up yan, Ed, tungkol sa pagdadialysis dito sa Canada.
Yeah.
So, is it true that they really bring some machines to patients in the home talaga? Kasi nga, you mentioned.
Yeah, so yung clinic namin, yung unit namin is, we provide everything, basically, to the patient. The machine, the supplies, they get it all for free. Alam mo naman dito sa Canada. Yeah. So, for patients who are able to, they dialyze at home and it's better for them.
Ang galing So but that does not apply to all patients, but some still need to go to the center, ganon?
Depende sa patients some patients don't want to do it at home kasi takot sila or tamad kasi it's a lot of work. Or kaya hindi sila qualified. Pero mostly it's the patient's choice, I think. Kasi yung unit namin, halos lahat tinatanggap namin we'll try to get them home.
Yeah. Ang galing
parang sa tatay ko ganun. Binigyan kami ng option na mag-dialyze siya. Sabi namin hindi namin kaya yan kasi paano pag something went wrong with the machine, paano namin i-troubleshoot yun. Tapos medyo seryoso yung condition ng tatay ko noon. So, we opted to go to para lang meron din siyang gagawin. Para pupunta sa klase. Dati gising ka na, papasok ka na, susunduin ka na ng school bus mo. Punta ka sa mga classmates mo, katabay ka. Same people.
Kasi most of the patients sa hospital-based na dialysis, yun ang reason nila. Parang social,
Parang social. Parang kayo na yung mga caregiver magkikita nun sa labas. Naghihintay. So nagiging magkakaibigan sila, nag-walking sila sa hospital.
Yeah.
So parang may social aspect, hindi isolated.
I see. But each of you started, leaving the Philippines and then ending up here in Canada. What were you? I'm sure nag-uusap-usap kayong tatlo. Were there, meron bang isa sa inyo na medyo hesitant na kailangan i-convince ng isa o mga nagko-cold feet, kumbaga, may ganun ba?
Wala.
So, despedida lahat kayo
Hindi ko alam. Kasi ako, binigyan nila ako ng despedida eh. Hindi ko na alam. Dinispedida nila ako. Yun, yung parang kino-convince. Ba't ka pupunta doon? Ba't ka pupunta doon? Huwag ka na pumunta doon. Kailangan ng tulungan yung bayan natin. Isa naming kaibigan, masyadong nationalistic.
Pero umalis na rin siya.
Tapos umalis din siya. So, yun lang. Pero hindi ko alam sa kanila kung nag-despedida pa sila, nag-get together too.
Hindi, ako naman, siguro few days before I left, nagkita-kita rin kami nung block. So
it's always the block.
Kung sino yung who were remaining. So, syempre, kasi si Bombet na umalis sa akin dito sa Philippines So, yun. Dumating ako dito, si Bombet, nasa BC
pa. Vancouver. Vancouver.
Okay.
So, hindi pa kami talaga nagkikita. So,
kwentuhan lang.
Kwentuhan, tatawag lang sa phone. Email,
sa phone pa nga yun wala sa phone
email,
pa, no?
Parang lagon. So,
wala pang cellphone no na
wala pang
text.
Talagang lagon.
May text, pero mahalang text Hindi pa smartphone.
Baka sa Pilipinas, I'm sure iniinis kayo nung iba, Ed and Vince, na parang, susundan nyo lang si Bombet doon Tapos yung pangatlo, susundan nyo lang dalawa doon Ganun ba nangyari?
Parang wala naman ganun.
Kami na ngayon nagko-convince sa kanila pumunta rito kasi para madagdagan kami.
Oo.
Ngayon.
Iba bumibisita rito. Kasi yung block namin, Ina, nung nasa Lasal kami, very close yung block namin. Lalo na yung mga boys. Yung boys, meron kaming gimmick na twice a year nung nasa block kami. Tapos yung magbi-beach kami during summer. Yung beach na yun yung memorable beach kasi yun yung tipiran, yung 50, tapwi-tapwi lang yung patak ninyo, magpapatak kayo. So hahanap kayo ng cottage na yung pinakamura. So kasi kunyari 10 kayo, yung 500 pesos lang a night. So, kahit dalawa lang yung kasya dyan, basta't meron lang kubo, doon kami matutulog sa kubo. Tapos, yun yung isa namin. Every year yun during college. Yung one, sa summer.
While we were in college.
Tapos yung isa, yung sem break between September, yung September to October, mag-iinuman kami nun sa Shakey's. Sa Shakey's yun. So, tapwi-tapwi ulit yun. 50 pesos ang patak niya. Tapos mag-iinuman na yun. So, pagka ganun yung bonding nyo, nag-spill over yung pag-graduate ninyo. So very close talaga especially yung boys.
Yeah. Oo naman, ako din, I have my lifelong, yung forever friends ko din. Many of them are from college sa Lasal din. And actually, one of my blockmates, hindi naman kami naging sobrang close, pero nandito rin, kapitbahay ko din halos in Mississauga. I'm here in Brampton. Hi, Ogie. I don't know if you're watching. Okay. Si Ed naman, parang si Ed ang pinakamalaking pagkakaiba talaga, no?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, yung biggest change sa iyong buhay from the Philippines to Canada. Can you share with us a bit more about that?
Sa akin, wala namang pumilit or nag-try na mag-convince mag-stay. Kasi like I said, for me, wala man akong ginagawa sa Pilipinas. So sabi ko, I'll just try it. Kung mag-work, okay. Kung hindi. Tapos, yun na nga, nakapag-nursing na ako. So sabi ko, hopefully, mas madaling kumuha ng work. It wasn't that easy to get in at first, pero okay naman siya once you got in the hospital. So, and you get the Canadian experience.
Yeah.
So, it was easier. Pero, yeah, malaking kaibahan talaga from Pinas to Canada.
Oo
kasi
naman.
naalala ko nung bago ako dito, like, less than a year, umuwi ako kasi hindi pa ako nakakuha ng full-time job. Sabi nung pinsan ko, uwi ka muna kasi pag nakakuha ka ng full-time, mas mahirap umuwi. So pag uwi ko,
batong-bato yan
mahirap pa kumuha ng job nun.
Mahirap na, lalo na full-time. It wasn't that easy to get in the hospital. So sabi ko, pagka-uwi ko, sabi ng mga kapatid ko, wala pa isang taon, ayaw mo na. Para sa kanila, good, babalik na ako for good sa Pinas. Pero hindi, bakasyon lang. Tapos pagbalik yun, dire-diretso naman na nakahanap na ng work.
Araw-araw, tinatawagan ako niya.
Hindi lang nakahanap ng work. Batong-bato yan. Sabi ko yan, mag-stay ka lang, mag-relax ka lang. Pag nagkatrabaho ka, ikaw ang susuko. nag-triple job.
Oh,
Kasi
wow!
hindi eh. Nung dumating na, hindi na makahindi. So,
the first few years talagang gigil. Kasi nga, di ba, ang tagal. Walang inaantay. Tapos nung dumating na, parang sunod-sunod.
Oo. Balik na dito, Ed. Sa Pilipinas, okay lang. Minsan masarap tumambay sa Pilipinas eh. Wala kang gagawin dito. Hindi pwedeng wala kang gagawin. Mapapraning ka kung anong kinabukasan mo din kung wala kang gagawin.
So, hindi talaga pwede.
Oo. Okay. And then now that you three are here, has it made it easier, your adjustment? I'm sure it has. Having your closest friends in the same country, in this foreign country.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's good na meron kang support group eh. So, I mean, well, Ed and Bombet can attest to this. During my lowest times here, nandyan sila to comfort me. So, alam na nila yung kung bakit. So, although, yun na, mabuti rin, may kapatid ako dito, may dalawa akong kapatid dito, pero iba rin yung, syempre, may talagang very, I consider these guys my brothers too. So, kasi yun nga, I mean, more than 35 years na kami magkakilala.
Yeah.
Then, syempre yun, talagang...
Unfortunately for me, for Vince, kilala ko siya for the
kasi syempre, being immigrants, that's one of the biggest concerns, moving to a different country. You don't know anybody. And even if you do start meeting people, it's like you don't know who you can trust. Hindi mo sila kilala eh. But, because of your want to have a network, sige, basta kaibiganan mo as many as you can. But it's rare that you will be with people that parang kayo na.
Sa akin, malaking tulong siya or malaking bagay nung simula. Kasi nga sabi mo, wala kang mga kilala, wala pa akong work nun. So wala akong friends talaga. Pero having Bombet and Vince na close friends, malaking bagay yun.
Oo.
Tsaka iba yung pagkapare-pare yung perspective mo, yung alam mo yung perspective nyo, kung ano yung, kung saan kayo galing. Kasi we became friends when we were kids.
Yeah.
So, pareho kayo ng background, pareho kayo ng dinadaanan, pareho ng experiences mo as an immigrant. Kasi may kaibigan ka sa Pilipinas, pero hindi, iba yung experience, hindi nila maano yung experience mo, hindi nila ma-appreciate yun, yung dinadaanan mo rito. As you are trying to integrate to the society. So, maganda yung, tas meron kang kamag-anak dito, pero iba, hindi mo sila kakilala from way back when. So, ito yung parang, yung the most ideal type of relationship. Kasi parang, pareho kayo eh. Para kayong you are traveling the same road.
I get what you mean. It's like, kasi you came from the same world. Back home. Diba?
And you're traveling the same world.
Yeah, you came from the same world.
It helps na alam namin yung sekreto ng lahat.
So, wala pang social media noon.
Wala pang social media.
Kasi even if yung mga friends, halimbawa ako, I got to know some people. Parang iba yung naging journey nila kasi ibang-iba yung buhay nila sa Pilipinas. Alam mo yun, magkaiba pa din in a way. But it helps. It's still helpful. But I think I know what you're saying na, same kayo talaga na uri ng mga immigrant.
Exactly, yeah.
At saka in fairness, I mean, not only the three of us, I mean, kahit, kunwari, if one of us fortunately goes back to the Philippines for a vacation, kahit naman yung, we're fortunate to meet with our blackmates, ganun pa rin, parang walang pinagkaiba. Kasi iba yung, malaki na yung foundation ng friendship namin eh. So, that anytime we can come back, parang we can pick up where we left off, then just catch up kung ano yung, what's been happening while we are away, parang ganun. So,
speaking of catching up, dito sa Canada, how do you guys catch up? Medyo, although in GTA, iba-ibang tao, so si Bombet in Brampton, Vince in Markham, Ed in Scarborough. Paano ang niyo dito? How do you get together?
Hinihintay pa namin yung invitation sa
bagong
invitation bahay. Sa bahay ni Ed.
Oh, wow! Congrats,
Chappy. Wala yan.
Invite mo na rin yung mga guest natin, Ed.
Congrats, Ed. Aba, may bagong bahay.
Thank you.
Oo.
Mas
mahirap mag-schedule dito, Di ba? Mahirap mag-schedule ng alis dito.
To be honest, I mean, ako, siguro sometimes I'll even take the initiative na magsama kami at least quarterly. Or at the same time, gumagawa rin kami ng lakad na kasama yung family. Kasi para, siguro, isa pa yun para papayagan kami nung mga better half namin na magkita. Dapat, syempre, alam mong dagan. So, yun, dagan. Minsan gumagawa kami ng outing in the summer, kasama yung pamilya, tapos Christmas, kasama yung pamilya. Tapos may mga lakad na kaming tatlo lang. So,
that's nice. Tsaka nakakatuwa naman your children. Imagine yung stories na naririnig nila. My dad knows dito, Uncle Vincent, Uncle Ed, all the way back from the Philippines. That's so rare. Bira yun, di ba?
Yeah, si Bombet, kumparing buo ko na yan. Pareho kami. Kumparing buo ko. Inaanak ko yung inaanak niya, inaanak niya yung inaanak ko.
Si Ed, kumpare ko na.
Okay. And I'm sure when you get together, you talk about, what happened to you guys?
Ulit lang. Kwentuhan namin.
Ganun pa rin.
Matatanda na
Magre-reminisce ka pa rin.
Do you guys...
about this,
and kunyari, like talking about life in the Philippines, kino-compare nyo ba? This is where I wanna get. Do you guys think about or talk about how life would have been had you not moved here?
Ako hindi ko na iniisip yun.
Oh?
Hindi ko na iniisip kung nag-stay ako ron. Parang wala
kasi dagan. Ako yung friends, yung former co-workers ko sa Monterey, karamihan sa kanila nag-avail ng early retirement. So, most likely, baka ganun na rin nangyari sa akin kung nag-stay ako. So, that's why hindi ko rin iniisip masyado So, I mean, because what's the point, diba? So, pero although, nakwento ko na rin kay Eddie at kay Bombe, I am thinking of retiring back sa Philippines. Kami ng wife ko. So,
wow, okay.
Nandun pa rin yung nandun pa rin. Kasi, mas, parang ko. Ako nagsasawa na ako sa lamig dito.
Retiring talaga doon, as in parang
hindi ka nga nagsha-shovel ng snow
Oo, ikaw Ed, do you also think about retiring in the Philippines?
No, actually nung bago ako, yun ang plano na sabi ko, okay, sa Pinas magre-retire. Pero sa ngayon, parang hindi ko naman na-imagine na doon magre-retire. Siguro, pabisi-bisita more often, pero hindi yung doon magre-retire. Saka ang init daw doon parang impyerno na raw
Oo, grabe, literal. Hindi totoo nga, tama si Ed. Sobra na daw kasi talaga, parang what we maybe imagine hell to be like.
Sobra daw, nag-50s, imagine mo yan. Sabi ko dito, minsan 19 Inapawisan ako, 19 natin ng summer. Paano yun? 50, patay.
Oo, nakakaloka. Totoo yan. Okay, and then also, may nabanggit isa sa inyo. Why do you, convince your, friends back home to try give Canada a shot?
Wala, para
nung bata.
Dumami na.
Ako nung bata, convince ko si yung isa naming friend na, punta ka na dito kasi nandito yung kapatid niya. Pero as that time goes on, inaano ko na siya na, huwag ka na pumunta pagka past a certain age, mas mahirap na yung adjustment.
Yeah, right now, it will be too late, I think.
Yeah,
professionally.
So, siguro nung time namin, it was easier. Pero ngayon, hindi namin sasabihin kung tanda na kami. Pero ngayon siguro kung ngayon ka magsisimula ulit,
mahirap.
What age did you guys basically get here ba pala? Anong age
I guess, 30s.
Mga 30s.
Yeah, 2009, 30s.
At least do the math.
Actually, concern yan ng mga nag-iisip mag-move ng Canada. If they might be too old. Kasi some are coming in their mid-40s. Palagay nyo ba, anong advice na ibibigay ninyo sa kanya? sa kanila.
Kung gusto mo naman, kakayanin mo, pero sa akin lang parang 30 is the optimal way. So 10 years ka nagtrabaho sa Pilipinas, tapos meron ka pang, kaya mo pa mag-build up ng pension mo rito, psychologically kaya mong, at saka emotionally kaya mong ma-accept yung, bababa ka kasi talaga eh. Most likely bababa ka sa so kung saan ka galing. So kung 10 years ka pa nagtatrabaho sa Pilipinas, yung pagbaba mo, yung pagbagsak mo, hindi mo masyadong mataas. Eh kung VP ka na sa Pilipinas o Senior Vice President, balik ka rito, factory worker ka, yung emotional toll, grabe. Tapos yung financial impact nun, grabe rin.
Yeah.
Tapos hindi ka makaka-catch up. Mahirap makaka-catch up. Kunyari, 45 ka na, 50.
Well, yeah, you guys are lucky. And I agree. I think moving in your 30s, yun ang ideal. Ano talaga, no? Oo, ang hirap din. Saka ngayon kasi nga, iba na yung iba na yung sitwasyon ng mga immigrants di ba? The competition is really tight. Well,
yung bahay pa lang, yung cost ng bahay, ang mahal.
Iba na talaga ngayon.
Yung cost of living, mahal na.
Ako naman, titignan ko, iba yung mundo natin 20 years ago, at saka iba na rin yung mundo ngayon. So, kasi ngayon, kung talagang magaling kang mag-diskarte, parang, sabi, gawa ka ng gagon. If you're tagon. Kasi mas lalo naglumit yung mundo ngayon mas madaling kumita ng pera. Kung talagang, kaya sabihin mong 40s ka na, magaling ka sa paggawa ng content creator ka, mapapawi mo pa rin So, siguro baka
of course, it's impossible. Oo naman.
Hindi, long story short, hindi imposible, pero yun siguro, mas malaki yung challenge, pero hindi imposible.
Yeah, mas mahirap pero kung talagang decidido yung tao, I would recommend try nila. Kung hindi, di balik.
Oo naman.
Nung time namin, so nung nagpa-assess ako for my CPA certification, sinabi nila sa akin, yung time na yun, 2021, na ang college degree natin sa Lasal was a community college. Kasi hindi na naintindihan at nung time na yun. So I have to explain to them na hindi yan kasi nakita mo 3 years lang. Mas mahaba pa yung pag-aaral kasi trimester tayo. Hindi na naintindihan yung trimester. Ang tawag nila rito is open enrollment. Pero ngayon, kasi nga maliit na yung mundo, we are so interconnected, na-appreciate na nila yung background mo, na-appreciate nila yung educational background. So parang nare-recognize na yan. Hindi ka na pinabababa. Before, automatic babaha agad. You have to fight back na, hindi yan yun. Hindi ako diploma lang. Ano talaga yan? Degree yan. So parang,
that's good to know. Kasi ako, I've never had my transcripts actually assessed. Hindi ko talaga alam. Parang
ang tawag sa atin, for example, tawag sa atin, accounting course. Like, ang course dito is like equivalent to accounting subject. So ang tawag dito dapat accounting program. Accounting program is similar to the entire program sa Lasal. Tapos pag sinabing diploma holder ka, ang tingin ka agad sa'yo nun, 2-year program yan kasi dapat degree. University degree. So parang, pero ngayon naiintindihan na nila ngayon yan. Kasi sobrang dami na ng immigrants. Before, ano na ba tayo? 180,000 new immigrants a year at the time. Less than 200,000.
Yeah.
So,
ngayon 1 million na.
Ngayon 1 million.
Oo. I see. Okay. I'm curious. Do you guys still monitor, news back home? And if you do, how do you feel about them? Do you feel like you've escaped, stress watching yung mga nangyayari sa Pilipinas?
Kasi ako sa farm ako lumaki So we do watch the news.
May babuyan ka ba? May babuyan ka.
Palaisdaan yan
So, we do watch the news para makita lang. Kasi ako, kunyari, my family is still back home. Ako lang naman na nagpunta dito sa Canada. So, para makita lang what's happening sa Pinas siguro.
Particularly yung kung ano nangyayari kay Kim Chiu.
Okay.
Ikakat mo naman yun, di ba, Ina? Ikakat mo.
Ano?
Ikakat mo yung part na yan.
Okay. O, sige. To close na lang siguro. What do you guys like best about living in Canada? If you can compare, siguro your career-wise, what do you like best about working here? And, hindi, lahat na. Sige, pati family life.
For me, mas achievable yung parang mas madali mong nare-reap yung benefits. Buying a house, like getting no? So, ayun, tapos, at saka dito, mas madali kang nare-recognize ng content. So, compared sa Pilipinas. So, syempre, yun nga, yung, okay, maraming nagre-reklamo dun sa state ng healthcare natin. Pero, ako, I saw it kung paano naman nila tinutulungan yung tao basta nakapasok ka na kung kailangan mo talaga. So the health system is there for you. So I know a lot of people complain about it. Ako kahit ako meron akong may issues ako, pero at the end of the day, the government is still the health system is there for you kung basta meron kang OHIP card. So yun, yung mga bagay na yun na at least nakikita mo kung saan napupunta yung taxes na binabayaran mo. Although kahit alam ko malaki. So, pero yun, nakikita mo yung benefits.
Sinabi mo pa, you know, at the very least may bumabalik sa kinakaltas sa'yo. Sa Pilipinas, diba, kinakaltasan din naman tayo sa totoo lang eh. Those, with good careers, malaki rin ang tax na kaltas sa Pilipinas. Oo.
And you don't see it.
Correct. Sabi ko nga, ako nung nanganak lang ako dito, parang mas malaki na agad yung nakuha ko sa gobyerno ng Canada. In that moment, compared to my 20 years, working in the Philippines, parang walang bumalik. Diba? Doon lang sa pagkakaanak ko. Okay, how about Ed? What do you like best about living in Canada?
Like you said, you see where your taxes are going. Like healthcare, nakikita ko kasi doon ako nag-work. Siguro mas masarap pa rin sa Pinas, pero sa totoo, okay din dito kasi matututo ka eh. Like, alam mo naman sa Pinas, di ba, wala kang, may mga tumutulong sa'yo. Like, pagdating mo, may pagkain ka na, ganyan, di ba? Laundry, dito, you do everything. So, mas mahirap siya, pero it's a good learning experience, I think, na matutunan mong gawin lahat yon. Kung nasa Pilipinas ka, bihira naman siguro yung ikaw maglalaban ng sarili mong damit after working, yung mga ganun. So,
saka Ed, my gosh, I'm sure na alam mo naman yung buhay ng mga nurse natin sa Pilipinas.
Oh, yeah.
They're so undervalued and so many of them want to come here. Grabe.
Kung makapunta sila, talagang better off sila pag nag-abroad sila. Dito or sa States or kahit sa ibang bansa siguro.
Yeah, oo. O si Bombet, by the way, by the time we upload this, Bombet, na-upload ko na yung unang episode mo.
Okay.
So my viewers might already have an idea of Bombet. Pero Bombet, dahil CPA ka, alam mo buti na ka lang. Can you, compare a little bit yung taxes sa Philippines and sa Canada? Tama ba yung sinasabi ko? Yung observation ko kasi malaki din ang kaltas sa Pilipinas hindi ba?
Mga 32%, no? 32-30% sa Pilipinas. Similar to here.
Diba?
Oo.
So why do you think Bombet?
Pag iniisip mo, 32% dito kinukuha yung taxes mo, pupunta yun sa provincial government and then pupunta sa federal. Tapos meron ka pang consumption taxes in GST dito, value, which is like 8% sa provincia, 5% sa federal. Sa Pilipinas, it's 10% value added tax, right? So parang very similar. Pero dito, yung binabayad mong taxes, meron kang healthcare, meron kang decent roads. Sa Pilipinas, hindi mo alam yung healthcare is like really two-tiered. Yung roads, kailangan mo ng Manila North Tollways to build roads. So privatized. So saan pupunta yung 30% taxes na yun? Saan kaya yun, no? Somewhere in the
Kailangan ko ba bang sabihin kung saan?
Oo in the black hole of things, right?
Kaya nga kasi actually I do wanna anyway, siguro later on I can talk to you about it because gusto ko i-stress na yung mga nagko-complain ng taxes dito, na malaki din ang kinakaltas sa Pilipinas and why are they, complaining about it here, na gano'n. Although, naiisip ko naman, Bombet, baka kasi yung 32% na tinatax na sinasabi mo, those are for the higher earning people, right? Tama ba?
Not necessarily. Pagka umabot ka ito ng $150,000, 47% na yata or $200,000.
Oh my God.
Pero pag umabot ka na ng mga...
No, in the Philippines, I mean. In
the Philippines, wala, 32 is cap. I think. That's
kahit yung mga
yung mga
low earning people, ganun pa rin.
Yung
parang feeling ko...
So, no, progressive yun sa Pilipinas.
Progressive
pa rin. Mas mababa ang kita mo, mababa pa rin yung taxes mo.
Yeah, but my point is, syempre, for the skilled workers natin, mataas din talaga yung kinakaltas. And again, where are they?
Mataas din. Kung may kikita ka ng very similar to here, parang ganun, 30% is parang yung sweet spot ng mga income taxes of ordinary employees.
Oh, diba?
So similar here, pagka may negosyo ka or investor ka, mas maliit yung taxes. Ganun din sa Pilipinas. Meron kang mga armada of accountants and tax experts that will help you reduce your taxes. Ganun din yung dito. Pero pag iniisip ko lang na saan napupunta yung sweldo nun? So parang ayaw ko lang. I don't want to go to the rabbit hole.
Oo nga alam nating lahat. Okay. And that's one of the reasons why many people are frustrated, with how things are back home. Kaya rin, yan ang isa sa mga dahilan bakit din umaalis yung mga kababayan natin. Moving not just to Canada. Ay, nako. But anyway, okay. Thank you guys for sharing your story.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, nakakatuwa. No? And you guys are so lucky to have each other here in Canada. Yun lang ang sasabihin ko.
Totoo yun. So,
Ed, kailan mo kami iimbitahin sa bahay mo?
yun yung
parang walang plano talaga. Parang wala siyang plano.
Hindi narinig, nawala ng wifi.
Mamaya na tayo mag-usap pag hindi na lang.
Ay, nako. Okay. Sige, we'll end this episode here. Good luck and more success to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Okay, so that's it. That's it for this episode. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.